All right. Joaquin Buckley just announced on the stream recently that he has a new opponent and he has a fight date. However, he's not going to reveal that opponent just yet. I think if everything goes his way, I think he's going to get Usman. He's been calling for Usman for a while now. And it makes sense ranking wise. If I'm looking, number 5 is Jack. He's getting the title shot. Usman's number 4. Leon's number 3. He's not going to come back anytime soon. Shavkat, he's injured at number 2. Sean Brady, number 1. It would make no sense for Sean Brady to fight Joaquin Buckley, especially since he just beat the former champion. And Joaquin Buckley is a nightmare matchup for any of those people at the top 5. I think Joaquin Buckley is future champ material, 100%. I'm really high on Buckley, even though people can say what they want about Covington and, where he's at in his career. Plus, with short notice, but I think you give Covington 3 months of training preparation for Joaquin Buckley. I think Joaquin knocks him out every single time, 10 out of 10 times. I just think Joaquin knows what he's doing on the feet. Obviously, he's getting a bunch of finishes lately. He's shown that he has takedown defense. He has grappling. Is he a grappling monster? No. But he does have anti-wrestling. He showed that in the Covington fight. And I just think Usman's the logical next step up, especially for the availability in the division. I would say if Shavkat was healthy, I would say give him Shavkat because Shavkat's coming off a win. Buckley's coming off a 6-fight win streak. Usman, that's the thing. People want to hate on Usman and say he's lost 3 in a row. I get that totally. But if you look at who he's fighting, he's fighting the tip of the spear. And that's the thing. Usman's not getting dominated. Sure, he got, ragdolled in the first round of the Khamzat fight, but I think Khamzat does that to everybody. And no, I just think Usman, he still has much to offer the welterweight division. Obviously, he's up there in age, but you look at his losses. Usman lost to Edwards, obviously, by the knockout, but he was doing really well. And then before that, and then the next rematch, Usman was not getting dominated in any sense. Obviously, Leon Edwards won, but, that's the thing. Compared to Covington, Usman has, his performance is a lot more to be proud of, I just, obviously with the age and everything, say what you want, but, and he's coming off, I think, when's his last fight? It's been a while now since Usman's last fought, but I think Usman being champion, and I think the fact that Buckley, he's coming off of all these wins, I think they're going to do a 5-round fight. 100% they're going to be either a main event of a fight night or a co-main event for a pay-per-view. I prefer to have them on a pay-per-view because I think they do big numbers. Buckley's been calling this fight. Buckley calls his shots. He's loud. He talks to the media. It's like he's a promoter's dream right now. He's finishing people. He's talking the talk, and he's walking the walk. He has all the confidence, and I think that's an amazing fight to book. And like I said, I just don't think... I don't think they're going to give Sean Brady the title shot next. I really don't. I think, if anything, they're going to give him Shavkat when he comes back. Because, sure, Sean Brady looked great against Leon, but I just don't think Sean Brady has any star power. I think Leon Edwards has a clear hole in his game against grapplers. I don't think it, obviously it's wow, he did that to Leon Edwards, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I just think that Leon Edwards, I don't know, he gets in these positions where, especially on the ground, and he just doesn't have an answer for it. And I don't want to say give up, but, I guess gives up in a sense where it's he kind of accepts a lot of these positions. Whereas if, let's say, Joaquin Buckley knocks out Kamaru Usman, how are you not giving him the next title shot? Especially since he's good at promotion. He's exciting. Whether Jack or Bilal wins, I think you give it to Joaquin Buckley. If Usman wins, depending on how he wins, I don't know. I think if Usman wins this fight, I think you put him against Sean Brady for the number 1 contender because, you can't, like I said, even though he looked really, well, not really good, but he looked good in his last 3 fights, you can't give someone a title shot coming off a 3 losing streak and then having 1 win. I just don't think that's possible. Kamaru Usman, he's really good in the division, but I just don't think he has that much star power to warrant that. But yeah, no, I think Joaquin Buckley, he's here to stay in the welterweight division. I was watching one of his fights, I think it was Nasruddin Imavov, and I'm like, why the hell is he ever in middleweight, man? Welterweight is his home for sure. He has the size, he has the strength, he has the power. Like, I just think it's 2025 is Joaquin Buckley's year. I really think it is. And yeah, no, I think Usman, it will not be an easy fight by any means. Like, Usman, like I said, he's still got a lot of skill. He's still got a lot of, he's got power. That's the difference between Usman and Colby. And that's another reason why I want this fight to happen, because it's the next step. Usman's better than Colby in every single way in the fight game. More power, better wrestling, everything. Aside from his knees, which I think Buckley, he's probably going to target those, especially with those oblique kicks. I think Usman's got to be really careful on the feet. Really, really, really careful. Because, everyone knows that Usman's struggling with his knees. I think, especially coming off these injuries, I don't know exactly what he's recovering from, but, it's safe to assume his knees are probably part of that. And yeah, I just think Joaquin Buckley, if he plays it smart, especially if he can counter wrestle Usman, I think it's put him on the feet. Let's say if it's a striking only fight, I think Joaquin Buckley wins. I think Joaquin Buckley, they both have power. I think Usman, that's the thing. Joaquin Buckley, he can't get reckless in this fight because Usman can easily just counter him, you know what I mean? And definitely do some damage. But I think Joaquin Buckley, his confidence is through the roof. I think he's constantly improving. I think he's looking sharper than ever. And that's the thing. He has had a lot of damage in the middleweight division. So I wouldn't go crazy against Usman. But, if he plays it really smart, I think he gets Usman out of there in the later rounds. I think 100%. And honestly, I think he has a better time beating Bilal than he does against Jack. Jack's really good on the striking. Jack's got a chin. And I don't think Joaquin Buckley, sure he has takedowns, but I don't think that's his bread and butter. I don't think he's like a natural wrestler. I think he's more of a natural striker. And I think if Jack becomes the champion, they're not going to give Bilal the next rematch. Not a chance. I don't think they like Bilal as a champion. I don't think he pulls any numbers. I don't think he's... him or Jack don't have any star power. So I think whoever wins, they're just going to be like, whatever, who cares? I think they're going to give it to Joaquin Buckley because even if Jack Della Maddalena wins, I don't think they want to see Sean Brady fight for the title because Sean Brady was... Sure, he's winning his last few, but I think a lot of people, especially in my mind, they think of Sean Brady, they think of him getting dominated by Bilal, and that's not a good look. Obviously Bilal's really good. He's a champion for a reason, but I just don't think Bilal is like, holy shit, striking. And to get TKO'd by Bilal, nah, I don't want to see Sean Brady fight for the title next. I think he's got to fight one of these guys, either Shavkat or if Jack Della Maddalena loses, him. But yeah, no, I think Buckley, I think they're probably going to announce it soon. Him versus Usman. Usman needs to come back because if he's going to come back, he's got to come back soon. He's not getting any younger. And I think if he wants any chance at the title, I think he's going to have to accept this fight with Buckley. Because that's the thing, he can catch Buckley. No doubt. But I'm just confident with Joaquin. I think he's future star material. And yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that he beats Usman. It'll be a close fight. I think it'll be TKO in rounds 3 to 4, like I said. I don't think Joaquin Buckley's going to get out of there clean. I think it's going to be a bit of a war for sure. So that'll give him time, and that'll give whoever wins the belt time to recover. And then I think the top of the welterweight division, especially with Ian Gary fighting Carlos Prates. I think if Carlos Prates knocks out Ian Gary, it'll make it harder for Buckley to get the title shot, because I think last time Dana White was talking about Carlos Prates, they talked so highly of him. And I think if Carlos Prates has an amazing victory, they could give it to him too. But like I said, Ian Gary, he's really good, but he's number 7. Kamaru Usman, I don't know how he's number 4, because like I said, 3 losses. But no, I think all goes to plan. Buckley's got to get a finish. Buckley gets a finish, title shot, 100%. I can't wait to see it. I think Buckley's the real deal at 150 or 170, and I'd really prefer him as a champ over Bilal, 100%. And yeah, that's all I got to say on that. Like and subscribe.